It is time for the April 2nd edition of Litter Media Live on this Thursday with Aaron Glandon. I'm Dan Ramey. Good to have you here and watching our program today. Look at that. It's a beautiful shot.
It is.
Yaktangi Park. That, I think, was around 2018 I took that. And I took the drone back out again yesterday. And so we'll probably have some pictures we'll show you a little bit later on in the week.
Because that one was from when I was still in high school.
Right. But it was a beautiful day when we were taking those shots. Yeah. Coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at what's happening with news. That includes the space flight. Is that right?
It does.
Okay. Thank you to NASA. We're going to say that right up front because it was an historic day yesterday for the space program. All that just ahead. But first, let's tell you about our forecast. And here's what we're dealing with today. It'll be warmer. A high today to reach around 82 degrees. We'll have some cloud cover moving back in, maybe a little bit of a morning shower to start your day on Friday. But temperatures again be back up at around 80 degrees tomorrow. As we make our way into Saturday, sunshine off and on, and then maybe even a late afternoon shower on Saturday. But man, it is comfy weather outdoors, and the showers that came through yesterday, while they wreaked havoc with some of our spring sports, I will tell you, I was in studio most of the afternoon yesterday after I came in from flying the drone, and it was like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Then the storms hit, and when I went to go home, it had dropped like 20 degrees. Yeah. And that's when I realized I didn't wear a jacket to work today. And it kind of caught me by surprise.
I didn't wear a jacket today, and I walk inside, and I'm kind of chilly in this room.
Are you?
Usually, this room is hot.
Yeah.
If anything.
Well, we were talking the other day about the stagnancy, and I never got around to finishing what I was saying before the show. What occurred to me was that the air conditioner was not on.
That'll do it.
In this warehouse where our studio is broadcast from, it gets pretty warm in here in the afternoon. And as the temperature started warming this week, I came in earlier in the week and I said to Aaron, does it kind of smell a little stagnant to you here? And he's like, what do you mean? I've got my shoes on. And so at any rate, it was just, we didn't have the air conditioning airflow.
You said it smelled dank.
I did say dank.
Yes.
Yeah, I did use the word dank.
And when you said that, my thought was, is someone smoking pot in here?
No. That is not happening. Just want to be, we're going to have drug tests. Good. Somebody's going to knock on the door. It's your turn to be drug tested. So, all right. That's it for the start of our program today, but we have more to share with you coming up in just a moment. Did a handful of interviews yesterday. We'll share as a little teaser right here this morning as we get ready to have the news portion of our program on the way next. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Where can we find what we're going to be talking about today?
You can find everything that Litter Media does right here on littermedia.com. We have links to website stories. We have links to our social media pages, including X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and Litter Media Radio. And we are active on all of those platforms.
Yes, we are.
We've made a point about how we don't use Instagram very much, but I'll tell you, I've been using it.
Have you?
I've been putting our new patented Litter Media shorts on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
These aren't basketball shorts like what you wear.
No, they're not.
Or for workout shorts, anything like that. These are shorter versions of the videos that we share.
We're trying to put beneficial news that you can use into smaller, more digestible formats. In case you don't have time to watch all of this show, maybe we can point out
of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And they have the ability to see the entire video if they want to.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. Very nice. Innovation. He's on top of it. All right, let's start with our first news story of the day today. Last week, Ohio Representative Mark Johnson introduced Andy's Law before the Ohio Senate. House Bill 338. The bill was introduced following the death of Corrections Officer Andrew Lansing. Lansing was killed by an inmate at Ross Correctional Institution. Andy's Law would increase the penalty for assaulting or causing the death of specified victims at state or local correctional institutions, and to make changes to the Department of Rehabilitation and Correction policies and procedures.
You know, Andy's Law just wasn't crafted in 1 month or 2 months. It was crafted over a period of 5 months. And we had input from retired wardens and many, many management people that are currently working in our prisons. I mean, this is more than just a correction officer safety bill. This is entire staff. They're all viable. I believe we are sitting on powder kegs at each of our higher security prison. And if we don't take action, you know, shame on the legislature, shame on the administration. But to this point, we haven't seen significant changes other than a few taser guns added to RCI since Andy Lansing's death.
Johnson is also proposing canines to be placed in all prisons to prevent drugs from entering the prison system. All this and more is available on our YouTube channel. Yesterday's secret assignment that I was on involved this guy, Ross County Sheriff George Lavender. He was celebrated for his 50 years of service in law enforcement. Family, deputies, detectives, judges, they were all there to recognize Lavender's near lifelong service, and we spoke with him after the celebration.
50 years is a long time. You know, it's a long time. And I think, like I've always said, I was so happy to start in the time period I started. When I started in 1976, it was different. You know, there was a lot of respect for law enforcement. A lot of people, you know, didn't give you issues. But, you know, back then it was different too, because if you went to a bar fight, the bar was fighting. It wasn't one or two people in there. It was the bar fighting. So, you know, a lot of things have changed. We don't have as many bars, but now we got the drug problems, and we're battling that, you know, and you see people you've dealt with your whole career, and unfortunately, you know, we've lost a lot of those people to the drug issues, and, you know, we were so wanting to be in our schools right now to keep kids from getting into those issues. So, you know, it's an everyday struggle.
Fayette County Sheriff Vernon Stanforth was also there and had the line of the day. He was talking about the cooperation between the neighboring counties. He said the cooperation has been in place since the 1800s, and George was there. So that got a nice laugh.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And George and I, we go back to 1983 when I was working at Play Palace, which used to be an arcade here in Chillicothe, out where where Lowe's is now. That's where it was located, out to that area. And George would come in and he'd buy a stack of tokens and he would sit down and he'd play Miss Pac-Man. And he had that pattern down. He would have some of the highest scores on Ms. Pac-Man. And so his wife, Jeannie, asked me, can I get a picture of you two together? And so I said, yeah, sure. And then she's like, wait a second, you've known him longer than I have. So fantastic. We've appreciated our friendship with George over the years, no question there. But thank you, George, and congratulations on 50 years. And I I didn't stick around to get a piece of cake.
What kind of cake was it?
It was, it was cake. Only a few pieces have been taken, and they were from the far side of that cake, and I didn't get a chance to see the entire. I think it was vanilla. I guess.
I was watching, I think, Parks and Rec the other day, and a character said, birthday cake can't be your favorite kind of cake because it's not a kind of cake.
Let me guess which character it was. It wasn't Ron Swanson, was it?
I don't think so.
Because Ron's all about beef.
Yeah, meat.
Yeah.
I think it was Tom.
That sounds right.
I think it was him.
Sounds right.
It's my first time watching the show. I'm on season 3.
Listen, son, when I tell you all the bacon, I want all of the bacon you have in the back. Ron Swanson, one of my favorite characters.
He's a great character. Let's continue on with the news.
Back to what we were supposed to do.
In recognition of National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, the Ohio State Highway Patrol is reminding motorists to always keep their eyes on the road, their hands on the wheel, and their mind on the task. Under Ohio's distracted driving law, enforcement officers have probable cause to pull motorists over if they witness them illegally using a cell phone or other electronic devices. While emergency calls are permitted in all circumstances, the use of an electronic device to call, text, or search while driving is not allowed. The public is encouraged to call 677 to report reckless or impaired drivers and drug activity.
To safely call it.
Yes.
And you were struggling with that because I know you were wanting to go like this. Hashtag 677. To help celebrate America's 250th birthday, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Parks and Watercraft is inviting outdoor enthusiasts of all ages to take part in a new statewide hiking challenge designed to showcase the beauty, history, and accessibility of Ohio's natural spaces. So beginning now and continuing through the rest of 2026, visitors can participate in the America 250 ODNR Challenge, choosing between a 25-mile family-friendly option or a more ambitious 250-mile adventure. Now, it seems to me we've also got something like that going on locally through the Ross County Parks system and also the Daughters of the American Revolution. So you can find out more certainly when you visit the Park District or anywhere where you see a hiking opportunity. They will most likely have this involved. Both challenges encourage participants to explore designated trails in Ohio state parks, forests, nature preserves, and wildlife areas. Both challenges are open now, and participants can log miles at their own pace. Participants will have until December 31st to complete their miles. I should have started 3 months ago.
Yeah, but you can do 25 miles and before December 31st.
I probably could.
But can you do 250?
Probably can't.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either. That's a lot of miles.
I'm just speaking for myself, you know.
Yeah. Ohio University Chillicothe will partner with Goodwill Industries to host a thrift pop-up this spring. Come refresh your wardrobe with fresh spring pieces or everyday essentials while shopping sustainably and affordably. We like that. The thrift pop-up will be held in front of Bennett Hall on April 15th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find affordable secondhand spring and summer fashion, including professional and casual wear, jewelry, jackets, shoes, and much more.
The Ohio Department of Veterans Services announces that registration is now open for the 2026 Ohio Veterans Convention at ohiovets.gov/convention, taking place Saturday, August 8th. That'll be 2026, of course, at the Ohio Union at the Ohio State University in Columbus. The biennial day-long convention brings together Ohio's veterans, service members, military families, partner organizations, and supporters for a meaningful day of connection, education, and resource building. Attendees will have the opportunity to participate in keynote presentations, panel discussions, breakout sessions, and a comprehensive resource fair featuring organizations that serve Ohio's veteran community. I'd be willing to say there'll probably be food involved too. The convention will run from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and aims to support veterans in accessing benefits, health services, employment resources, educational opportunities, and community programs.
Join the Arc of Appalachia for a fascinating indoor evening presentation with keynote speaker Dr. Aaron Hall, an aquatic biologist and program director for Beaver Corps at the Beaver Institute, on Saturday, April 18th at the Paxton Theater in Bainbridge, Ohio. Dr. Hall will share his deep knowledge and experience working with beavers one of North America's most powerful and influential species. He'll explore the beaver's natural and cultural history, their near disappearance and remarkable comeback, and the vital role they play in shaping healthy ecosystems. Registration is required for this event, so check out our Facebook page for more details.
I've never seen one of these animals in the wild. However, I have seen some of their dams.
Yeah.
And they are really, they're workers.
Yes, they are. I heard a story one time where scientists played the sound of running water on a radio.
And they built a dam?
And beavers were so irritated by it, they started building a dam.
Wow. Just to stop the noise.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if that would help with a noisy neighbor.
Maybe.
Beavers could come and build a sound wall of some sort. That'd be interesting. Ross County Community Action is now accepting applications for the David V. Stuyvesant Scholarship. The scholarship awards between $500 and $1,500 per recipient, and the deadline to apply is coming up soon. It's May 1st. For more details and eligibility requirements, you can visit coadinc.org/give/scholarships.
Or you can look for this post in our Facebook feed, and the link is also shared
right there.
Pike County Solid Waste and Recycling will have their annual spring cleanup starting in May. You can sign up to take part from now until April 10th and get a t-shirt while you're at it. You can find more details in this post on our Facebook feed or go to Pike County Solid Waste and Recycling on Facebook.
A good reason to need a t-shirt. Go ahead and get that taken care of.
Exactly.
The Artemis II mission launched from NASA's Kennedy Space Center at 6:35 Eastern Time yesterday, propelling 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon. Artemis II will pave the way for future moon landings as well as the next giant leap, astronauts on Mars. This listed as a 10-day mission. The Artemis III is set to launch in mid-2027. So a lot of people were excited to see this, and I started to reach out and ask if I could share this, but the girlfriend of one of my former classmates, they were watching the launch from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and she had better capture and staying with it than the CNN feed that I had recorded on TV. CNN was shaking around, and they were like, oh, we've lost it. And then they were finally back. She was steady as she goes and did a great job capturing that whole thing.
One of the feeds I saw, they forgot to pan up once the rocket actually launched, so we were just seeing the flame on the ground. This is a historical event, people.
Yeah.
Know what your camera should be pointing at.
I was telling Amelia, Miss Amelia has just turned 7. I told her, I said, when we landed on the moon with the Apollo mission, I was 6 years old, and she just turned 7, and she was like, yeah, so she was real impressed by what I shared with her. Kids today, right?
What's impressive to me is the first flight, period, was in 1903, and barely over half a century later, we're on the moon.
Yeah. Ambition.
Yeah.
And my wife said, why are we doing this again? We've already been to the moon. And I said, well, it's to show that we can do it again, but I didn't get into the rest of what we've been hearing. And the rest of what we've been hearing is we need to do more than planting a flag on Mars, because there's discussion that
the moon.
Did I say Mars?
Eventually,
Mars,
we want to go to Mars.
Sometime. Maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe one day. But for the moon, they want to set up territorial rights. And in order to do that, you have to start building a kind of like a fort. You have to build an institute right there so that you can say, we got it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm being told that we're in a race with China, and China is months behind the point that America is right now. So that space race, remember the space race that we had in the 50s and 60s? It's now rejuvenated now all these years later.
Do you remember playing freeze tag as a kid, and there would be an area where you'd go to and you'd say, I'm safe. This is the safe zone.
Yeah.
Why can't the moon be like that?
Good question.
That's what I think we should do with the moon. Make it a safe.
And then the question comes up, do we turn it into a military installation? And that's where you say, well, if we can all get along, I mean, we've all gotten along during the International Space Station. Mm-hmm. If we can maintain that and keep politics out of it, I think we can have other countries and work together on the moon.
Let our problems be on Earth.
Let them be earthly problems.
Right, exactly.
Not lunar problems. Mm-hmm. But then this begs the question. We start building on the moon. Is that going to change its axis and its rotating and everything? And it is going to throw everything out of sync?
I think we'd have to build a lot of stuff on the moon for it to affect the moon's gravity.
I'm just asking. I don't need an answer. You never know.
You do never know.
Yeah. Sports on the way next. We'll share that with you. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is your trusted comfort advisor. Now, they don't know a whole lot about lunar and space and all that kind of stuff. They may be a hobby, but what they do know is heating, cooling, and plumbing. And they can take care of it for you. They do this all over southern Ohio, up into Columbus, all the way over to Athens and into Dayton, down to the Ohio River. It's a big footprint that Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing serves. You want to find out more about them? Go to our website, littermedia.com, and click on this ad. Anywhere you see it, it takes you to accuratehvac.com.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
The Pike County Career and Technology Center provides hands-on, skilled trades training with engaging curriculums and endless possibilities. From automotive technology, carpentry, business management, to culinary arts and interactive media. From electricity, welding, HVAC, engineering, and medical technology to pre-nursing, basic food service, and public safety. We're preparing our youth for America's workforce through today's technology. To learn more about Pike County CTC, visit pikectc.org.
At Tomlinson Insurance, we've been protecting families, farms, and businesses since 1853. From auto, home, farm, life, or health, we tailor coverage that fits your world. With multiple carriers to meet your insurance needs. Real people, real service, local agents who can answer the phone and care when it matters most. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call or stop by today.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old. And coming up shortly, we will have our Pet of the Week, so stick close for that. The Haynes Total Healthcare Center High School Scoreboard, where you can find all the scores of games that were played yesterday. And I will tell you that it was almost half and half. Some of the games got played, some did not. Let me tell you what did. Out at VA Memorial Stadium, Lucasville Valley was a winner over Margaretta, 5-4. Never did see a final in Chillicothe Gallia Academy, so I have a feeling they got washed out. Fairfield Union beat Logan Elm in the Mid-State League Buckeyes. They got divisional play underway yesterday. Circleville, a winner over Amanda Clear Creek. Liberty Union took Hamilton Township. In the Cardinal Division, Fairfield Christian Academy over Millersport and Byrne Union defeated Harvest Prep. Non-league winners included Jackson falling to Atlantic Collegiate Academy. They're playing in a deal down, I think it's Myrtle Beach. St. Charles, Tays Valley, Reynoldsburg, Wellston Green, Portsmouth Clay, and Portsmouth West all picking up wins in baseball. On the softball diamonds, Circleville, a 13-3 winner over Amanda Clear Creek. Liberty Union took Hamilton Township 10-0. Bern Union, a winner over Harvest Prep 15-3. And Canal Winchester was a winner over Reynoldsburg in the OCC Buckeye Division. I believe the SVC games got completely wiped out. Non-league, Portsmouth picked up a win. So did Rock Hill. It was Portsmouth Notre Dame, South Webster, and Portsmouth West also picking up a win. I want to say there was a note on baseball. Was that? No, it was yesterday. Green beat South Webster. John Knapp pitched a one-hitter and had 14 strikeouts in that game yesterday.
Wow. And
in high school volleyball, Bishop Hartley, a winner over Chillicothe 3-2. It was 24-26, 19-25. And then Hartley picks up 25-17, 25-16, and 15-9 for the wins there.
All righty. In the major leagues, the Reds fell to the Pirates last night at Great American Ballpark with a final score of 8-3. They're headed to Texas to take on the Rangers tomorrow afternoon.
The Guardians won the rubber match yesterday, 4-1, to take that set with the Dodgers. They'll host the Chicago Cubs tomorrow afternoon.
I think both of those games are at 4:10 o'clock. So true afternoon as you can get. The Cavs tonight will stay on the West Coast to face the Warriors, and that is going to be at 10 p.m.
And the Blue Jackets, they've lost 4 straight. They're going to try and get off the schneid tonight in Carolina against the Hurricanes, who beat them 5-2 the other night.
Yeah, it's a get-right game.
They got to get it right.
Yes, they do.
There's just a handful of games left if you want to make it to the playoffs. Problem is the injury bug has hit them, and so that's creating some issues for them now. All right, time for our Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week.
We usually do that after the ad break, but we can do that now.
Okay. Well, let's do it now.
All right.
We'll jump right into it. I'm in the sport mode. We usually do that right after sports. So look at this character, lazing and lounging just like a panther would out in the jungle.
Yes.
This is Peanut. Peanut's been part of the family for over 10 years, and ever since we brought him home from a family Thanksgiving dinner. He's a loving cat who enjoys long naps, caught in his historic state right there, long napping, and playing with his favorite ball. So congratulations to Peanut, this week's Litter Media Petland Pet of the Week. Now, if you'd like to submit a pet, please do so to littermedia@gmail.com. And when you're there, make sure you tell us a little bit more about the pet. And if you got a photo you'd like to include, that would be handy as well. And don't forget that at the end of the year, we will select a Pet of the Year. And they'll get a nice prize from our friends at Petland.
Yes, they will.
All right. Coming up, this date in history. Next.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane, online propane monitoring and reporting. Know your home's consumption and gas remaining in the tank. You can find out more at litterpropane.com.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Now time for This Date in History, which takes us all the way back to 1513.
We think oranges, right?
We do.
Because of the tans that you get when you go to this particular place?
Yes.
And also what they grow.
Yes.
Speaking of Florida, looky there. It looks just like it, doesn't it?
It does. I don't know why you keep laughing at that all morning, the entire show. Every time we've gone on commercial, Dan has gone over and gone. There's. I need to fix this.
Need to fix this.
This looks like Florida.
We made some modifications to it, and we tried our best. We even added the keys in there for you as well. In search for the fountain of youth, explorer Ponce de Leon, that is Juan Ponce de Leon,
yes,
claims Florida for Spain as the first known European to reach the state that looked like that. I'm sure maybe that's what it looked like in 1513, and then the erosion from the hurricanes and things have turned it into what we see it today.
Maybe. I think you were making a big fuss about nothing.
That's the problem with sometimes wanting things to be perfect. Yeah. I don't know. I have trouble walking into some place that has a crooked picture. And I remember Pat Matson was the Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central Ohio executive director in the 1980s. And she was big into horoscopes and stuff. And so I walked in one day and I saw their picture was hanging crooked. And I straightened it up and she starts smiling and chuckling. And I'm like, what's the deal? It bugs me to see something that's not straight. And she says, I have a feeling that your numbers are 2 and 3. Your colors are blue. And I was just sort of throwing all this zodiac stuff at me. And I'm like, huh. And in retrospect, I'm thinking back and she says, and you like to have things straight. And she developed my character right there in front of me.
Huh.
I didn't realize at 19 years old, I was that easy to figure out.
Yeah, you're like an open book.
Yes.
Well, let's tell you about our national days today.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story for a couple of these.
Uh-oh.
Today is Ferret Day.
Oh, tell us about your ferret.
All right. Well, one day when I was a child.
You actually have a ferret story.
I have a ferret story.
Okay.
We had to get some cat food or litter or something. I don't remember. We went to Petland in Chillicothe.
Yeah.
And I was early teens probably. And we're sitting there checking out, and the person at the counter is holding a ferret. And they have to scan barcodes and type stuff. So they go, here, hold this, and just handed me the ferret. And so while my mom was buying whatever it is we needed to buy, I was sitting there holding the ferret at Petland.
I could see the person saying like this, put it over their neck.
That's where it was when they had it in their over their neck, and they said, here, hold this while
I'll be a son of a gun. Now, a neighbor of mine growing up over in the trailer park had ferrets and chinchillas. There were like 16 of them in cages in their trailer.
How about that?
That's my ferret story.
I hope I didn't get anybody at Petland in trouble. It was a pleasant experience. I enjoyed holding the ferret.
Here, can you hold this tarantula, please?
Now that I would not have enjoyed. Today is also Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
What's your story there?
I'm about to blow your mind, Dan.
Uh-oh.
I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my life.
Wow.
I've always been a peanut butter and honey guy.
Honey? Mm-hmm. I've never had honey on peanut butter.
Peanut butter and honey is incredible.
Peanut butter and jelly was kind of a luxury when I was a kid.
You know, I've just never had jelly, actually. I've had jam before. I've never had jelly.
You've not lived.
I don't feel like I'm missing anything. When I was a kid, I thought it looked gross, and so I wouldn't eat it. And now I just feel like there's no point now.
I've always had difficulty between what's jam and what's jelly. They both kind of look the same to me.
Yeah. Everybody, when I tell them I've never had peanut butter and jelly, says, oh, we need to make you one right now. I don't want it. At this point, it's more interesting to say I've never had peanut butter and jelly than it would be to say,
wait till you have kids.
I didn't have it until I was 25.
When you have kids, that will change.
Well, they can just eat peanut butter and honey like I did. It's Reconciliation Day.
What's your reconciliation?
I don't know if I have anything for that.
You don't have a reconciliation?
Maybe I need to reconcile with you. Maybe I'm mad at you about something I don't understand.
Maybe you need to reconcile your concern with peanut butter and jelly.
No, I'm not doing that. It's DIY Day, and it's Burrito Day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have stories for those.
You can do do-it-yourself burritos.
Yeah. Make yourself a burrito today. Celebrate this April the 2nd.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's it for today's edition of Litter Media Live. We do have a special edition coming up here soon. We're going to talk about Kidpalooza, and that's just around the corner. So I believe Lindsay Sparks is going to be here to talk about this big fun day for kids that'll take place here in a couple of weeks. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Back with you again with the Friday edition of Litter Media Live coming up tomorrow.